Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning in to get the latest on our weather. Today, we're diving into a topic that often makes headlines, but isn't always fully understood. We hear the term La Niña tossed around a lot, but what does it actually mean for you and your family? How does it affect our daily lives and the weather we experience? Think of the Pacific Ocean as a giant bathtub with trade winds usually pushing warm water westward. This is the normal state of things, but sometimes nature has other plans. La Niña is when those winds get stronger, piling up warm water near Asia and letting cooler water surface near South America. This shift in water temperature has far-reaching effects. This cooling isn't minor. It's a massive shift that changes weather patterns worldwide, including right here in the US. It can influence everything from rainfall to temperature extremes. The cooler water chills the air above, reducing clouds and storms in the central and eastern Pacific, leading to drier conditions in these areas. While the western Pacific gets wetter and stormier, this can lead to increased rainfall and even flooding in regions like Southeast Asia and Australia. This shift alters the jet streams, those high-altitude winds that steer storms, impacting who gets snow, rain, or sunshine. It can even affect hurricane activity in the Atlantic. In simple terms, La Niña is a natural cooling of the equatorial Pacific that happens every few years. It's a recurring climate pattern that we can predict to some extent. It's one half of a larger cycle called ENSO, with El Niño as its warmer counterpart. Together they create a push and pull effect on global weather. As of October 10, 2025, the National Weather Service has declared we're officially in a La Niña state. This means we can expect certain weather patterns to dominate in the coming months. This sets the stage for a unique set of weather possibilities as we move into winter. Some areas might see more snow, while others could experience drier conditions. Let's break down what that could mean for your region. Stay tuned as we explore the specific impacts of La Niña on different parts of the country. Now that we know what La Niña is, let's look at this year's event. Recent data shows Pacific sea surface temperatures have dropped just enough to trigger a weak La Niña. Forecasters expect this La Niña to remain weak and short-lived, likely fading by early spring. That means the classic La Niña effects will be more like a gentle nudge than a dramatic shift. The odds tilt towards certain weather patterns, but nothing is set in stone. This variability means surprises are possible, and the winter may not follow the textbook script. The next ENSO update is coming soon, and NOAA's winter outlook will offer more details. For now, the consensus is clear. We have a weak La Niña, and it's time to stay alert. Let's see how this could play out across the country. For the northern U.S., from the Great Lakes, across the Midwest, and all the way to the Northeast, this winter is shaping up to be one for the books. With La Niña in play, meteorologists are watching closely, as this weather pattern often brings colder temperatures and heavier snowfall to these regions. For cities in the Northeast, La Niña typically means a higher chance of snowstorms and frigid days. Neighborhoods could see snow piling up earlier and more often than usual, transforming familiar streets into winter wonderlands. The polar jet stream is expected to dip southward more frequently, opening the door for Arctic air to surge into the U.S. This shift can trigger sudden cold snaps, with temperatures dropping rapidly and winds whipping across open plains. As a result, the Midwest and Great Lakes are in the bullseye for repeated winter storms. Blizzards and heavy snow events could disrupt travel and daily routines, making winter preparedness more important than ever. Cities like Chicago, Detroit, and Buffalo should brace for above-average snowfall. With the potential for several major snow events, residents may find themselves shoveling out driveways and bundling up for longer stretches. Out west, the Pacific Northwest and Northern Rockies are also in for a robust snow season. This is great news for ski resorts and outdoor enthusiasts, and it's a welcome boost for water supplies that depend on mountain snowpack. Still, with a weaker La Niña, the weather pattern may be less predictable. Milder spells could interrupt the cold, bringing brief thaws and even rain to some areas before winter tightens its grip again. Despite these just occasional breaks, the overall outlook favors a classic winter for the northern half of the country. One filled with snow days, frosty mornings, and plenty of opportunities for winter fun. Now is the time to get ready. Check your furnace, dig out your warmest coats, and make sure your snow shovels are handy. Preparation will be key to staying comfortable and safe. Even with some uncertainty in the forecast, one thing is clear. Winter is on its way. And it could be one to remember. From dramatic sunrises to snow falling under city lights, the season promises memorable moments. So get ready to embrace the chill, enjoy the snow, and make the most of a true winter wonderland this year. While the north braces for snow, bundling up against icy winds and heavy flurries, a very different story unfolds in the southern United States. During La Niña, the southern U.S. usually experiences the opposite of the north's wintry blast. Instead of snow and sleet, the south often basks in sunshine, with mild afternoons and dry breezes replacing the chill. This happens because the jet stream shifts northward, acting like a barrier that keeps cold, stormy weather away. High pressure dominates the south, leading to fewer storms, less rainfall, and temperatures that can feel almost spring-like, even in the heart of winter. States like Arizona and Texas, which are already known for their warmth, can see even milder winters, with long stretches of sunny days and little need for heavy coats. Mississippi, too, often finds itself under clear skies, but this pleasant weather comes with a downside. Drought concerns can quickly rise as the ground dries out, and rivers run low. Water managers and farmers across the region keep a close eye on reservoirs and fields, hoping for enough rain to replenish supplies. Without the usual winter storms, reservoirs may not get their typical recharge, putting extra pressure on agriculture and water resources. Even so, a warm, dry winter doesn't mean the South is immune to cold. The weather can change quickly, and surprises are always possible. Occasionally, the jet stream can buckle, allowing Arctic air to plunge deep into the South. These events are rare, but when they happen, they bring brief yet intense freezes that can catch people off guard. These cold snaps can bring rare snowfalls or dangerous ice storms, turning familiar landscapes into winter wonderlands, or hazards, overnight. It's a reminder that even in a mild season, preparation is key. Most of the time, though, the South enjoys more sun and less rain, with outdoor activities and travel rarely interrupted by winter weather. Still, it's wise to stay prepared for sudden weather swings. A mild winter can quickly turn dramatic, so keeping emergency supplies handy is always a good idea. The South's winter story is mostly one of warmth and sunshine, but every year brings a few surprises, reminding us that nature always has the final say. Out west, La Niña brings extremes. Alaska often turns colder, especially inland, as high pressure blocks milder air. The Pacific Northwest braces for a cold, snowy winter, great for ski resorts and water supplies. Seattle and Portland should expect cooler, wetter conditions, with a higher chance of lowland snow. California is the wild card. Typically, Northern California gets wetter, Southern California stays dry, but weak La Niñas can defy expectations. Just a few years ago, a weak La Niña brought record rain and snow to Southern California. This year, experts urge Californians to prepare for anything: long dry spells, sudden storms, or both. Atmospheric rivers could bring flooding and mudslides, even after weeks of drought. The message: be ready for extremes, not averages. Out west, flexibility is key. La Niña's reach is global. In Australia, it fuels heavy rains and increases flood risk, especially in the east. Meanwhile, South Asia, like Pakistan, often sees drier winters, threatening water supplies and agriculture. In Europe, the connection is less direct, but La Niña can help set up cold, Siberian air outbreaks, especially in the north. The Alps may get cold air but sometimes less snow. These global impacts show how a shift in the Pacific can ripple worldwide. Farmers, city planners, and families across continents all feel the effects. Meteorologists everywhere are watching this weak La Niña to help communities prepare. Weather is global, and so is La Niña's influence. La Niña's arrival also impacts the end of hurricane season. It reduces wind shear over the Atlantic, making conditions more favorable for late-season storms. Even if the season started slow, La Niña can quickly ramp up activity in November. The risk of a late hurricane landfall is higher, especially in the Gulf and Caribbean. Don't let your guard down. Hurricane season isn't over until it's over. Keep your emergency kit ready and stay alert for updates. Warm ocean, low wind shear, and La Niña Barzek Sampomauer, Baina Fremauer, or Swir. Samopain Senzao Lao Kormao. Late season trouble. Stay prepared through the end of November. La Niña sets the stage, but it's not the only player this winter. The polar vortex, high-altitude cold air over the North Pole, can break down, sending Arctic blasts south. If the vortex weakens, expect more frequent and intense cold snaps, even in the south. Another factor, a North Pacific marine heat wave, or the blob, can fuel west coast storms or raise snow lines, affecting snowpack and flooding. These wildcards can enhance or override La Niña's effects, making winter forecasting tricky. This year's weak La Niña is especially vulnerable to these other influences. That's why meteorologists look at the whole picture, not just ENSO. Expect a winter full of variability and surprises. The interplay of all these elements will shape the season ahead. So, what does all this mean for you? Preparation is key. In the north, get your home and car winter ready, service your heating, check insulation, and prep for snow and icy roads. For the Pacific Northwest and mountains, watch for heavy snow and avalanche risks. Power outages are possible. Have supplies on hand. In the south, don't get complacent. Protect pipes and plants from sudden freezes and conserve water during dry spells. Fire risk rises with drought, so follow burn bans and be careful. Wherever you live, stay informed. Weather can change fast. Use trusted sources for alerts and forecasts. This winter's weak La Niña, plus other factors, means surprises are likely. Prepare now to keep your family safe and comfortable no matter what comes. And now, here's what's happening in your neck of the woods.